Welcome all you +2 comedy modifiers back to Solving the Witness, a laid-back annotated Let's Play where we try to discover the deeper underlying meanings of Jonathan Blow's The Witness. We made our triumphant return 2 weeks ago. We had some great comments. The idea of there being a physical copy of the game was brought up. And I have it confirmed by various commenters that there is no version of The Witness in physical form. There was talk of the idea that Jonathan Blow was actually against it, which I'd love to find evidence of. So that's something I'm kind of searching for right now, because I think if we get back to the whole simulation theory and the idea that it is important to the story of The Witness that it is a video game, the fact that it does not exist in any way in our physical space is something very important to consider here. So I'm going to try to find that quote if possible. There's also a lot of people talking about that weird metal structure that was in one of the concept arts. A couple of people saying that oil rig was too flimsy. When I was thinking oil rig, I wasn't thinking like an actual oil rig. I was thinking of the one I saw in The Simpsons when they shot Mr. Burns. It kind of just looked like that. But there's the idea that it was some sort of crane to lift the boat out of the water, which is an interesting concept. It would also make sense why that was not in the game, since the boat is never placed in the water, it actually comes up from the water. So the idea that that concept in that concept art was scratched is why we don't see it, because it was connected to the boat, and the boat doesn't work that way. I think that makes a lot of sense. In any case, let's get back to my Let's Play already in progress.
Welcome all you +2 comedy modifiers back to the stream. Welcome back to Solving the Witness, a laid-back annotated Let's Play where we try to uncover the deep underlying meaning of The Witness. I'm currently sitting at 420 panels solved, plus 86. And I'm currently here as I open my eyes back up.
So I know I've talked about this before, but I wanted to talk about it again. When you pause the game, you close your eyes. And then when you unpause the game, you open your eyes. So, everything being first person, that makes a lot of sense. I've talked about this idea before, that when you close your eyes, there's kind of these weird, floaty things that you might see. In The Witness, when you pause the game and close your eyes, the puzzles kind of pop up and kind of float around in kind of like a distant way. This is called a closed eyes visualization. I used to get them really bad when I played too much Dance Dance Revolution. I'd close my eyes and I could see the arrows still coming up. But the game is trying to create that feeling that your eyes are closed, and thus kind of like all the lines that you've been dealing with and focusing on are kind of like floating in the background. Two important things I want to talk about, because I know we've talked about this before, but two things to consider. One, when you close your eyes and you see those things, only you will ever see them. I can describe them to you, and you can describe your own to me, but there's no way that I can ever see what you see when you close your eyes, and you can't see what I see when I close my eyes. I could try to draw it for you and stuff like that, but there's no way for you to physically witness that. I'm really hung up on this idea of experiences that can only be experienced personally and not shared and witnessed. And just because I've never really figured out why this game is called The Witness. So it's just an interesting idea of like they're very personal and they're an experience only you have. The other thing that is very interesting is, of course, on top of these closed eyes visualizations, these CEVs, is a menu. The idea that in this simulation, or in this world even, if it's not a simulation, that it is so inescapable that when you close your eyes, it's still there is very interesting. Especially if it's a simulation. Excuse me. I'm keeping that in. Because now that's such an intrusive program that there's no way for you to escape it, even through blinking, which is a version of hell. There's a lot of descriptions of hell like that, where you can't even blink. I think that's in No Exit. But that hell's other people in that, and there's no people in this, so I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. Back to you, Noah.
So yeah, I have to remember what I needed to do here. What was the deal? Oh, that's right. I have to do 2 lines or something. It's a whole bunch of shenanigans is what has to happen now. And I was pretty sure that step 1 was fixing this. Oh boy. Oh, damn. See, this is still the same problem. Oh no, damn it. Alright, so I gotta solve. This is not an easy solve right here. Oh, there's still. God damn it. Let's look at it differently. No, because that's still not. I'm gonna do it like this. Separate, separate, separate. Here we go. So that works. But how do I make the other line then work? Let me run back over here. So then I did all of these. It's taken a bit of time for me to remember what I was doing. Kings of Rock. What are Kings of Rock? Also, hey, good to see you. Yeah, this is the same puzzle, but I gotta deal with the fact that... Oh, maybe I just have to do it so I can go this way or something. Kings of Rock. No, it doesn't ring a bell. And I'm a movie dude.
Just a little correction here. Apparently, outside of America, Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny is actually called Tenacious D and the Kings of Rock. So that's where that confusion came from.
I think I just want to leave a path that way, so let me go back. I thought the Tenacious D movie was the Pick of Destiny. Or am I crazy? Trying to stay out of the... Because I just want a path from here to here. Oh, I didn't know that. I love Tenacious D and the Pick of Destiny. I almost listened to novelty music exclusively.
Still true. I still pretty much listen to novelty music exclusively. A lot of Tom Cardy, a lot of Stupendium, Bo Burnham, of course, and a lot of Weird Al, who I recently saw in concert and was awesome. I don't have a lot of cut-ins this episode.
because what I'm trying, I don't want to block this off, so I definitely want to try going this way. I mean, I guess I could, in theory, split the difference here. That's not quite correct. I'd have to be able to go through this, which I can't. You gotta cooperate with yourself. Yeah, that's an interesting way to put it. It is linking these two suns is impossible, I believe. Unless I like... Nah, I still think it's impossible. I guess I could do this, but then I'm... Yeah. Alright, so... This seems to be the most important thing, but... I want to leave a line from here to here. So I don't want to cross... Well, I mean, I guess I could do this. So as long as I don't put anything here, I'm fine. And I also have to get across. Like, it's not helpful if I do this. Well, it is, because no, I still can't get off. Because I need it to... Yeah. First, just find any way... Wait, just find any way how you can solve from the other side. Don't think too far ahead. I mean, I've done this puzzle before. Like, I'm trying to remember what I did. Like this option. No. This option is what I did last time. But once I do this, if I go to the other side, this is all just blocked. And from what I understand, there's no way for me to turn this line off while I'm over there. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Itch. So that's why I'm trying to just keep my line out of like this spot and this spot. If I can solve some way without touching those two spots, we're good. I was thinking like something like this. But that doesn't work. I can't think of a way to separate these two suns and make it work. Like, technically I could do this. But then, like, what's happening up there doesn't work. Unless I... Yeah, because there's no way to separate these guys either because of that. Yeah, so... See, I can't... I feel like I can't, though. Like, let's just start with the middle. Let's just start, like, with these guys. If I do that, like that, there's no way I can conjoin the other stars over there. So unless I do something like... No, there's no way. Yeah. So that's why I think like this has to be the first move. But if I then do this, that's going to be wrong. Because then there'll be no way for me to separate... Well, I could still separate black from white, but it'll be difficult. So like that seems like the right move, but then I'm screwed. So what do I do? I guess I can come up this way. Oh God, I had this before. Like, I don't want to break this path up. But maybe I have to, and then the answer's later. then how do I separate? All the way to the right, then slingshot? I mean, this is close. The problem is black is not separated. So it would have to be like... No, wait. I do this. That is technically correct. I don't know why I would want to do that, but it is a thing. Saying going up. I mean, yeah, this works. And then I can at least do this. Hold on. This is mostly for science. Can I get this line active at least and do this? Interesting. Okay. I was thinking incorrectly. Alright. So now that I've done that, I know that those are two environmental puzzles. Because I already did that one. And this I can't jump, right? Yeah. Alright. Let's go. Come on. Run a little faster. Yeah, the door just closed. So now I just need to figure out a way. Oh, I think I get it. I think I get it. Yeah, but then, so I'd have to do this. But that doesn't get me to the door. I have to, oh, wait. Right? Okay. So now I can use the orange to help me handle other problems. Okay. This is making much more sense now. I wouldn't say I have it yet. Just jump it. It's not that far. That's why there's no jump button in this game, is for literally this part. Because now I can do something like this. Boom. This is still not quite good enough. That's not the way I want to go. Because now with those taken out of the equation, I could do this. But black and white aren't separated, which is an issue. And I don't think I have a good way to separate them without just doing this, which is what I'm gonna do. There we go, I'm just gonna do that. And now I can separate white using the orange line. Okay. This is making sense. This is a cool puzzle. I feel like like to truly solve it, it should be identical, but that's just me. Because this kind of reminds me of the symmetry puzzles with the yellow and the blue line. So I'd like to make it so that both lines are identical because they both have the same starting point. Like, technically, you should be able to do that, but... Then I'll be able to just cut it straight across, yeah. Okay. I'd love to know which puzzle took the most time. This is definitely a tough one. So now I have the ability to do this. That's neat. But I want to take some time and like investigate this puzzle and see if it's solvable in a symmetrical way. Because like there's exits on both sides. So like technically you should be able to do it. Oh, this is interesting. These are elevator controls? Wait. Ooh. Double-headed snake. And then this is wrong because he's not hitting that. That's neat. I think I'm telling the elevator to go up, which is nothing. Because there is no up right here. Let me look around before I leave this area. That's the water for the waterfall. Anything interesting about this area? This seems weirdly important because there's all this light on it, but... Oh, wait. There's also a panel here. Oh, there we go. Yay! Is this impossible to get wrong? Because I can do this, right? Yeah, that's interesting. It's an unfailable puzzle, as long as you get from the start to the end. Alright, so down is what I want. That's true. If the answers are symmetrical, you would not be able to, but... What is that?
Zoom in here because I don't know what I'm looking at here. So basically, we have these two models that I don't know what they are meant to represent. The top one, my guess it is something very important because of its shape. You can see that there are 6 kind of cubbies, 3 on either side, and then in the center is a hexagonal room. Hexagons seeming to be very important. We talk about the 6 principles of the witness and also the hexagons that kind of form on the top of the mountain because of lava, because it's a volcano. So there's something very grandiose about that model that makes me think it's something very important, but I don't recognize it as any of the locations on the island. There's a chance that it's in the very secret area that I'm going to get to very, very soon in this series, and I just don't remember it. But there's something grandiose and important about this. So it's important to, in some way to notice the 6 sides of it. But I can't really place it. As for the lower one, as you can see, it's to my left, so I'm looking at it. I also really can't place this area as anywhere on the island. The best guess that I have, because of the black line on the bottom, and the fact that on top of it is something that's clearly a storage container, and we talk about storage containers a lot when it comes to the witness, this might be the area where you use the boat, and this might be an earlier version of that environmental puzzle that uses the water. And I think that black line may be trying to visually indicate the coast. I know that there's one on top of it that kind of hurts that theory. But I think maybe that might be what this is indicating. I can't think of another place where there is a storage container like that. Also, we talked about the oil rig or the crane in the opening to this and in the previous episode. The idea of there being a crane to move these giant storage containers around, also a very valid theory. But for now, please correct me. I don't know where the heck these locations are on the island. More of it in a second.
Ooh, interesting. All right. Just trying to look around quickly so I don't miss anything.
So this looks kind of familiar to me. I feel like this is part of the mountain. Like, I think there's an area of the mountain where you can kind of see these slits, or the volcano, and you can kind of go inside. It also kind of speaks of the algae farm, as I call it, or the colored lakes area, where they have those kind of like slit. They kind of look like a blind, where you can kind of look out. I kind of feel that architecture, but I don't get a good look at this one, unfortunately, and I really don't know what it is. My thought is, you don't get a good look at these. So perhaps these could be representing the idea of a fleeting idea, a memory that, or a concept that somebody came up with and couldn't hold on to, so it just kind of got away. It slipped away as you moved on to other things. We've also kind of played with the idea that the volcano itself, or the mountain itself, is a brain. And that one side of the brain is more of the creative part with the art, and the other side is more of the functional, logical part with the puzzles. The idea then that as you go deeper into your mind, that there are some kind of lost ideas and lost concepts kind of makes sense. And they're fleeting in the way that you move quickly past it on the elevator, rather than taking time to really consider it. It's just kind of the glimpse of an idea before you move on to something else. I don't have a lot to say about the actual structure, so I needed to say something here. So that's my kind of idea for why you don't get a chance to really look at these things.
And I totally missed something. Storage containers.
And lucky for me, this kind of proves the idea that these are concepts that are not used, because there is not some sort of jungle of storage containers. Few ideas I have with this one, though. The storage containers, the way that they're suspended, kind of remind me of the treetop area. So perhaps this is an earlier version of the tree houses. Also, there's the idea is this is, concepts that are not used. However, they are still spotlit. There's still a light here, so there's still some sort of importance to them. So, playing with that idea, moving away from the simulation concept, if this is an actual island that gets built, I mention, all the materials must have come in these storage containers. If then most of the island is completed, there could then be the idea that the storage containers are not there anymore. So this is an area of the island that used to exist when there were a lot of storage containers, and it's not there anymore. I would say more than likely this is just concept art of an area that was never used, but I like to look at things from all angles, so that's my best guess there.
There's a storage container that I saw. Storage container. Very, very interesting. All right. Panels on the flow. Oh, damn. Damn it. I can't do that. I can do this one. So there must be a second way of doing this puzzle where you exit using the other line. Because that's the only way that you can get that environmental. I don't know if I want to get up there and do it now, but... Alright, so this looks easy enough that I'm sure something terrible is going to happen. I so don't trust this area. So we got like glass keeping rocks away. Took you ages, huh? Alright. Hey, bro. Oh, there's more stuff this way. Break the glass. Break the glass. There's probably a better way to do it. Alright, so far so good. Alright, there's gonna be a twist. Oh noes. Let me guess. I'm just gonna be like, alright, I did it. Is this a symmetry puzzle? It is a symmetry puzzle. Oh no, I have to create the shapes. Oh God, no. Oh God, no. Okay. So I'm to understand that the 4 piece is located right here. Okay. So for this to work, I think I gotta go with the same... Oh, I can't even do that. Well, this is 4 and 3, and this is 3 and 3. So this will make either a 6 or 7 block shape. This is 4 and 4, and 4 and 3. So this will make an 8 or 7 block shape. So I think I want 7 blocks regardless. So I think this is actually what I want. Maybe I want the other, because like, okay, like if I walk it out, I think I want the other block, because I could, all right, let me just think about this right here. If I do this instead, oh, can I even, oh, why can't I figure this out right now? Oh, hold on. No. Can I even do the other shape? I don't think I can. I think it has to be this shape. Okay. That's fine. Because then what I can do is I can do this. I'm just kind of thinking out loud right now. This isn't...
Hey, quick costume change. It's another day. It takes 2 days to apparently record these cut-ins for me. Anyway, looking at this puzzle, which is a doozy, I want to just talk about something very small that I notice about this. And you can see it throughout me trying to solve this, but you can also see it right here. If you look at that white line that I am drawing, you kind of see these grid marks on it. And you can kind of see those grid marks throughout the whole thing. My belief is that is because this is still a tube television, a CRT television. I think that this game exists in a world without flat screens. And my guess about that is because even in this giant puzzle, there is a bit of a rounded step up, kind of representing that round piece of glass that used to be on CRTVs. Because before, in the before times, televisions were basically big pieces of glass that you shoot light at. That ended up with these kind of like scan lines that would appear on your TV. This is why games from like the NES era and the Super Nintendo era actually look worse on high definition televisions, because you can really see it in a game like Super Mario RPG. It was designed with those scan lines in mind, that there was going to be these like little gaps on the sprites, and it was designed to fit in there and kind of use those lines to create the illusion. So I think it's very interesting that as sophisticated as this island is, that it probably exists in a simulation. But it has these very intense puzzles and this technology based off of drawing lines that the televisions are still kind of old-fashioned. It's kind of that weird, like, minimalist techno-future thing. Another example of this idea is Batman the Animated Series. And I think Gotham does it as well, where it's kind of like this weird timeless thing where there might be some high technology, but also some low technology existing in the same world. It Follows does this, where there's like, they're still using like a lot of corded phones, but somebody has like this high-tech shell phone. So that's kind of what's going on here. I think it's an interesting aesthetic for this game, and it's just something that I noticed here. I also wanted to cut in and tell you that this will be the last cut-in for this episode. And I know there's a lot of time left. The rest of this episode is me trying to solve this puzzle. It doesn't go well. So if you want to skip to the end, that's fine. But struggle bus time.
This isn't me like really trying to solve yet. So that's this shape. Why are you telling me all of them are wrong? Oh, because I did it the wrong shape. Okay. That's right, because I got to do it the right shape. Oh, wait. Oh, wait. Okay, let me just try something else. This is again for science. Oh, yeah, this doesn't work. No, it doesn't work. Because of its location. I would have to do this. Oh, this could work. I'd have to do this. Then this. But that's not what I want. I want to make the two shapes touch each other. I don't think I want to be able to... I think I need the other shape. Because if I do the other shape, I could do 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where I'm standing. There's the block of 4. And then there's the 1, 2, 3. And that shape, I think I can make with these options? Oh, no, I can't. Wait. I see. I'm starting to see why you want paper and pencil. But so basically, these lines are going to have to mirror each other. Okay, so that means the shape has to mirror itself. So, but if I do 3 across without rotating it, how would I? Well, then I guess I could marry more shapes together. I hadn't even considered the idea of the shapes touching each other here, which legitimately might be the answer. Because if the 4 is here and then this is here, interesting. But I can rotate it. And if I rotate this square, the shape is, here's the 4, and then here's the L block. Okay. And if they're all touching, they don't have to necessarily be in the right spot. Okay. This is slowly coming together for me. I do know that if I went with the 3 block, I would not be able to rotate. But these guys are slightly crooked, so they can be rotated. So instead of doing this block through here, 1, 2, 3, 4, I could do the 3 block. Oh no, I couldn't. I couldn't do it 1, 2, 3, 4 because I'm not capturing the box. I'm so hot out of nowhere. All right, so let's pretend it's one shape. I think that's the move. Let's pretend all the boxes touch each other, and it's going to be one complete shape. How many boxes would it be? It would be 4, 4, 7, and then either 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So it's going to be between 13 and 15 boxes. How many boxes do I have? It's 5 by 5, right? So it's probably 14 boxes. No, it's 5 by 5, so it's probably 13 boxes. Because the only way to do 13 boxes would be like this. That's the only way to do 13 boxes. It has to be an odd number because it has to be an odd number. We're going to do a mathematical proof for you right now, all right? There are 15 boxes. If I eliminate a box from the grid, like so, all right? The other box is, the other line is also separating a box. So I can only remove from the shape even numbers. I can remove 2, I can remove 4, I can never just remove 1. Subtracting an even number from an odd number will always equal an odd number. So the shape has to be 13 or 15 blocks. Because 15 blocks is the whole thing, right? So when the sum of the parts is even, you already know that won't work. Right. We need to do some reworking. This is just me processing. 5 times 5 is 25, not 15. That's an amazing point. Okay, so I need an even number of boxes. I don't know where I was thinking 15. I think because that would have made it easy. All right, so right now, 4. This is the one that can change. So this is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's 13 or 15. Right, okay. So, how can, and once they're all, like, I gotta remember, if all the shapes are touching, it doesn't matter what the orientation of them are, in terms of where the location of this is. If all the boxes are touching, this shape can show up over here and be fine. Okay, so this is coming together now. I want maximum number of boxes. Let's, oh, wait, how do I do this? I don't know if I can, oh, wait a minute. How would I do that one and get to the thing? I don't think I can. Yeah, I don't think I can. Okay, so right now I'm at 7. Plus another 3, 8, 9, 10. All right. 13. 3, 7, 10, 13. Okay. That's a great start. So now I need a shape. Oh, I really do want the pencil and paper, but it's not going to help you. Or it's not going to help the viewers. So I need to make a shape. A symmetrical shape that is 13 blocks. And I'm pretty sure that it ends here. Like, both lines will probably come this way and then come up. Like, that's the way I'm thinking. Because this is the one, because it's an odd shape. No. Yeah, and then everything else will be... Okay. Can these be rotated? They can't, but I could switch. I don't know how to switch this is the problem. Let me just look at this puzzle again. Because I don't have a good way to enclose this one. And then it's possible, it is? I can make this shape and then get to the exit. I forgot something. Yep, it sure can. I feel like a silly boy. So now these guys could come together and make a 3x3 line. Plus that is another 3x3 line. So, like... Mwah. Mwah. Like, that's technically all three of those shapes together. It's not as helpful, though. If you do the top two together, the bottom two can't compose symmetrically. Yeah. I see how that's a problem. So if I do, like, this is the other one I was like, how do I solve this? And I don't think I can. This I still don't think I can, because I can't rotate it. Like, the only box, like, this box that my cursor's over has to be this box, because I'm not allowed to rotate. And there's not another good way to do this. I also don't see a way. Strange. I thought all can be constructed. Yeah, I'm like... If I start up this way to make the shape, I'm screwed. Like, if I start up this way, it doesn't work. It's just, I don't see a good... And if I start from over here, I'm really fucked. So that tells me it has to be this. It does not have to be that, though. It took me a lot of time to solve it, but... Okay. I could marry them in a way that there's 3 up. So it would be like, hold on, I'm just trying to walk through it. Like, this 3's down here, and then there's 3 up this way. But making it symmetrical doesn't really work. The top 2 are even, so bottom 2 must be odd. Yeah. Right. So I could change it to this shape, but I'm happy with the 3. The 3 across seems to make sense. How would I do this? It could be... Oh, I'm almost seeing it. I'm almost seeing the matrix. If the 3 across are here, and then I can do that. No. Yeah. That would, and that would fill in those squares. The 3 must stay, otherwise it won't be odd. Right. Right. I'm just trying to now mentally picture in my brain how I could extensively do this. Let me look at this again. What are my other chances are? this is technically a way to go as well. Now it doesn't link together nicely, which might be the point. Because I need it to not match together nicely, because that's not going to match together nicely with anything. So it needs to have a little extra dangly bit out. And then I can cut in, right? Because if I wrote, yes, yes, yes. No, there's an extra piece somewhere, because that's one, wait, that's, no, that's 12 squares. Yeah, that's 13 squares. That felt like it should be right. Yeah, that's like the rectangle. That's 12, and then that's 13. That felt like that should be right. Or maybe I'm just maybe I'm just picturing it in my brain incorrectly. Right? Whoops, see? Come back, come back, come back. Baby, come back. In your solution, there was no space to fit the 3-bar. It was just right there at the freaking bottom. Or at least that's how I was mentally saying it. I'm trying to... could technically come in and then be smaller. Like that. No, it can't be that. That doesn't make sense. That's too many squares, and that doesn't incorporate all the freaking squares. Look at this puzzle again. Are you sure there's no way? Yeah, there doesn't seem to be a way. Because you can't have an open... Yeah. Unless I'm just looking at this... I'm probably looking at this wrong. Fix it in your brain. There we go. Now this should work. Like, I can see it, but I can't verbalize it. There it is. Okay. Yeah, so it's basically... This shape is here, like that, and then this block is rotated. No. Yeah. This block is here, and then wait, what? I don't know how this works. I kind of solved it with math.
And that's going to do it for this episode of Solving the Witness. Here are your takeaways. First, what do you think of Tenacious D and the Peak of Destiny? All right, more important things. 2, what's your favorite novelty band? 3, let's talk about these weird models. There's the weird hexagonal one that looks very important. I don't know if that's part of the secret area that'll be coming up later within the mountain, or if this is just an unused area. There's also a lot of uses of the the storage units. The orange storage units, they're modeled here. What do you think those areas are? Are these just areas that were not used, that were thought of but did not end up making it into the final game? Is that why you kind of go by them quickly, is because they are kind of lost ideas, so you don't get to experience them because they're not really in the game? The idea that the mountain represents a brain that you're going deeper into, and that this is the extended metaphor of kind of like a fleeting idea. And the idea that there's CRT televisions. This is something that I'm sure I said before, that because there are clearly CTR televisions in the quarry section, like has something that looks very much like a TV screen, an old school television screen. I just think that that's interesting that, in something that's all about flat panels, that it seems to be using tube television technology here. Let me know what you think. Leave it in the comments below. I will talk about it next time right here when we try to solve The Witness.